Hello, my friends. This is the last presentation on this particular beginning that I told you about some presentation about the whole process. In this part, we're going to talk very little about refining the oil, and then we're going to wrap up and about the 9, I think, presentation we have had. So, the oil is ready to be refined, and as we know, the pattern installed in each one of the refineries, it has to be tailor-made to the quality or the condition of the oil that is going to be refined in the place. And some processes take place, like fractioning and chemical transformations of the oil is obtained through that processes in the refinery. So we're gonna talk a little bit about it. And when we get the crude oil, from the delivery points that is transported in the vessels that we just defined, then that oil, or the mixture of oils, of the different hydrocarbons, what we first do is we take the salt out of it, then we heat it up to maybe 250 degrees Celsius, and it goes to the distillation tower where the lighter parts go in the top, and the heavier they go to the bottom, and they are separated for different trays depending on the products that we're going to get, depending on the mixture of the hydrocarbon. So the light parts, like the gas, we get from there butane and propane, and we liquefy it, maybe. And we also get from naphthas, that it goes to the mixer. It gets mixed from the output of the cracking of some diesel, and then we get gasoline and naphtha, a different type of naphtha. So the third product we're getting is from the jet 1 or kerosene. So that's the fuel for the airplanes. It goes down to we just stock it for the airplanes. Like I said before, the diesel goes out in a mixer. We can get different type of mixers. Okay, the heavy parts goes to the cracking. In the cracking, we get some tar, and we also get gas, and we also get part of the gasoline and the naphtha from this heavy gas oils. And then we have what we call the reduced crude, and we get combust oil after the mixer. So this is a brief description of the process that takes place in the refinery. And like I said, it depends on the type of crude, how much sulfur you have, because the sulfur is also removed with the use of catalyst, and is converted in fertilizer. So in this refinery, nothing is wasted. Everything is used. Okay, this is another way of calling it. It's called topping. It's a tower like this, and we can see the same products. So we have some time to do a wrapping up of the whole things about the passage of the production process included in the oil industry. First, we talked about the traps and how the oil was generated in the transformation of the earth through 4,500 million of years. That's what the experts say. And then we have the generation of the hydrocarbon, the migration, and the stocking in what we call a trap with a sealing rock, and that's what the oil is accumulated in the porous media of the stock trap, or the stock rock, I'm sorry. So that's how we generate the oil and we stock it. So we also talk about how geologists and geophysicists, they do studies about the surface, the rivers, the breaking through, the seismic studies, and the using software, specialized software, to determine where the trap is and what kind of trap we have. And then they convince the owners to go in an exploratory project. That is the drilling of a well to confirm that what they're saying is true. So we drill a well, we run logs, we take samples, we take samples and we get the dynamics condition of the fluids. And after we get all that, we run some nodal analysis studies to determine if what the rates that we are seeing when we swap the different intervals can be optimized through fracturing jobs or stimulations. Or we also define the best well to develop those reserves. So it could be a horizontal well if the thickness of the sand is, or the thickness of the intervals is thick enough. We can navigate and drill a horizontal well. And if it's too thin, we might go to a slant well and fracture it. If the permeability is not good, we can fracture it and increase it. And after we have the right well and the right rates that we can optimize through these actions, then we also design, and we do the node analysis. We design with the best lifting method that has to take into consideration also the surface, what we have, if we have electricity, if we have gas, if we have, if we have the environment is very important also. If we are offshore, we are onshore. So we design what lifting system we want to install in our field. After that, and when we drill and confirm and we drill wells, we know the boundaries of the well and we start drilling holes to determine the limits of the trap or the reservoir through drilling appraisal wells. And then we also, we have the whole field being developed, and we have wells, we have a lot of wells. Then we start building our gathering systems and the flow station and the processes to get the products in specs or in compliance to be sold, gas to be sold, and oil to be sold, and water to be polished, to be injected or being sold also, because I mentioned you some in Kern River, California, where they get the water to such specifications that they sell the water. So everything can be sold. And after we talked about the ways of measuring how much oil we have in specs to pump it in the pipelines to the delivery points. And we also talked about the gas, what treatment we need to do to the gas to get it in specifications, like if it has CO2 or H2S, we need to remove it with the use of amines and put a sour gas in a sweet gas, and to be used, to be injected, to be used for generation, or to be okay, that's how they use it for the gas. And then we also talked about the transportation of the gas through gas and oil through those big pipelines, and the use of re-pumping system or boosters to get with the pressure needed at the delivery points. Then we talk about the the lac units, which is a way also, we talk about the static measurement and the dynamic measurement of oil. So the static is in the tank. We take samples and we get how much water cut we have. And then we fiscalize the tank and we see how much oil is there. Or we use dynamic measurement systems in the lac unit. Both of them just measure how much oil we are selling. So finally, and in this presentation, we have been talking about the refining of the oil, what the products are, what the processes are, in a very brief manner. Okay. So this kind of a wrapping up. This is a kind of a wrapping up. I don't know if I forget something. The idea was to get ready to focus or to concentrate in the production and productivity and surface processes part of the business. That's where I'm going to be trying to help and trying to get your questions and your projects. I want to tell you that your privacy is going to be respected. Yeah, we are going to, like I said, nobody's going to know that you are, whoever is sending something, we are going to keep it. And you can count on that. Nobody's going to know. If you don't want nobody to know, nobody's going to know about it. And like I said before, if there is something that you need us or me to study and requires more effort, I will do it. And there should be a charge, which is going to be lower than what the big ones charge you. And I promise you it's going to be better. And also, we find a way to do it. I have some formats of the confidentiality agreement, so we can do anything. And remember, knowledge is what counts. Know-how is what counts. So it doesn't have to be expensive to be good. All you have to do is try it and see the results. In my case, we can do something at very low cost just to convince you about the results. And then we can get a deeper agreement. So there is no problem with that either. And remember, I said it before, everything always can be optimized. And even if you're getting what you were expecting, the optimization could take you to above what you were expecting. I have seen cases, and we are going to cover them once we get back to production. I'm going to talk to you about it, where everybody thought that they were getting the profit the best profit they will get from that project, and we did some things and they were, surprised. So never think that you don't need help. Remember, Messi, Ronaldo, and Salah from Egypt, if they don't get help, they don't get the goal. So you are one of them. You're good, you're the best, but with help, you're going to get better results. So I'll be here. So after this, we're going to go back, like I said, to production, and we'll see you there. I hope you be involved, and you can share, or you share whatever you're doing with us, and we're going to help you. I promise. You're going to get better results. Thank you very much for being there.